Perk, but let's go here. What did you learn about the Lakers in this one?
What did I learn?
Yes, sir.
That is levels to this, right? It's levels to this when you think about intensity. It's levels to this when you think about a mindset. It's levels to this when you think about an IQ. Last night, I saw the Lakers pull out a championship mindset, especially on the defensive end and on the offensive end, but more so on the defensive end. We talk about the Phoenix Suns turnovers, and we saw them turn over the ball, but the Lakers' intensity on the wing, so when you look at Cam Reddish, he was ruffling the feathers with Devin Booker. When I look at LeBron James,
it's unbelievable.
You know what's unbelievable? I keep saying this. Here I am starting my second career, and he's still going. Like, we came in together, same age, same everything, and this man is still dominating the league. And it's really on the cool, still holding it down for the OGs as being the face of the league. And what Braun showed us last night, just the IQ. When I want to turn this on switch on and be the floor general and be everything and be the best player on the floor, I could do that.
No, I completely agree. The one thing I learned about the Lakers is that with Austin Reaves on their bench, they become an even more of a problem. Having Austin Reaves on that bench playing against second-unit guys, having a little bit more juice late in game, it is impressive, especially when you compare it to the Phoenix Suns. Their bench was -16, -11, -11. Without Bradley Beal, that Phoenix Suns bench looks real nervous, right? But the Lakers, when they get Vanderbilt back, when they start to get their guys back, that bench is going to be what they were looking for. We're talking about that 2020 championship level, where we got two main superstars and we got a slew of guys around them that know how to carry the weight and know how to push it for Austin Reaves off that bench. Austin Reaves is going to start at some point in time over the course of the season, but him at the bench with the rest of those bench guys running that ball, it's impressive.
I'm smiling at you, Richard, because my predictions were right yesterday, and so were yours, because I talked about Reaves and you talked about AD.
Yes, we did.
And a lot of times you criticize Anthony Davis for how he plays the game because it feels like every game is the same. He doesn't get up for some, that he should. Well, he got up for this game. I mean, my goodness, we all circled this quote-unquote matchup between him and Nurkic, and what did he do? He destroyed it. The Lakers only shot like maybe around 40% from the field for the game, but they had 21 offensive rebounds. That's AD's heart. That's AD's hustle. On one end, he's a candidate, if not like maybe a favorite too, for Defensive Player of the Year, but they need to keep that same energy on the offensive side. AD did exactly that, so give credit to that man for getting up in a game that really mattered.
Only the Trailblazers have a worst offensive efficiency, and they've been outscored by a league worst 14 points per 100 possessions in that span. So the Spurs, they have the worst record in the West. They're 3-16. They've lost 14 straight, and contributing to the way that the Spurs have played the fourth most difficult schedule when you look at the strength of schedule per ESPN analytics. But we were talking about this earlier, Richard. Sometimes it's hard to figure out exactly the direction the San Antonio Spurs are going, because it doesn't feel like they're always playing the lineup that complements Victor Wembanyama the most. Why is that, and how long can they afford to do it?
Well, afford to do it at this point in time. Their season is respectfully over. They're not playing for anything other than to get their great young players experience. But it's hard to kind of evaluate Wembanyama from a standpoint. It's like you don't know. They're not putting out the best statistical, analytical group around him. When you put Trey Jones as point guard, you can see their data goes up. Their points per 100 possession go up, all of those things. And then all of a sudden it's like, well, we're going to try and see if we can play Jeremy Sohan. That's what we're going to see if we can play him. We're going to play him at point. And it was like, well, you kind of have a point. And then all of a sudden the numbers start to plummet. The points per possession, the points per everything start to plummet. Now, it's great to evaluate that pick and to see what he can do. But respectfully, he's not the future. The goal is to figure out what's the best situation around Wembanyama. And that's the issue, that you can't evaluate him because they're not trying to see what's the best group around him and then go from there.
So when you ask the Spurs, as I did when we were both up in Golden State the other week, their answer would be, well, we want to evaluate all of the talent that we have on this roster so that we can see who has a long-term future with San Antonio next to Victor. That's what their response to why they're not maybe trying different combinations.
So they're trying to figure out who are the players that can play with him, but not trying to play the ones that they see statistically are best with.
And this is very common for a lot of franchises in that position. When you have a star player, you don't want to burn the candle on that star player. You want to see how can we build and who can we build with. So it's not just the Spurs. A lot of teams over the past few years have been falling.
Knowing how competitive Victor is, we all do, how long, for him, is this the way to utilize him? I guess that's where
to buckle up, Perk. Tell him to buckle up, Perk. It's going to be a long ride.
Don't you think that Victor Wembanyama is looking at Chet Holmgren winning Rookie of the Month and saying, you know what, I get this plan, but let me...
way to winning Rookie of the Year.
That's my point. But Victor is super competitive, Perk.
Listen, I get everything that y'all saying, but do we really think that Gregg Popovich and the San Antonio Spurs give a damn about points per possession? No, absolutely not.
When they're trying to win, they are.
But they're not trying to win right now. So my thing is this. When you looked at Victor, when you look at this Spurs roster, they drafted Jeremy Sohan at number 9. He was a lottery pick. So why not try to figure things out or see what he could bring to the table? A lot of these guys that they drafted, they have to see what they get out of it. And so, look, if this was any other organization, I would be scared as hell for Victor Wembanyama. But this is not some other organization. This is the San Antonio Spurs. This is a team that just had a dynasty with Tim Duncan and Ginobili and Tony Parker. So you have to have the trust there to know that this San Antonio Spurs, this culture, is going to make sure that they do right by Victor Wembanyama.
I understand the culture, but we're talking about individually as well, because Victor has great expectations for himself. And to be a part of this type of process has got to be frustrating for him, because we've seen what he's capable of doing in spurts.
Well, let me ask y'all a question.
Okay.
LeBron James was the greatest prospect as far as the NBA next to Victor Wembanyama. Did LeBron James go into a great situation?
No, he did not.
He absolutely didn't, right? So, hold on. So what happened was it took about, 2 or 3 years for them to start getting in the thick of things, and it's going to happen the same way. My thing is this. Is Victor Wembanyama, is he eye candy? Is he attractive enough to attract other stars that's around the league to come over and play with him? Now, I know they got all these damn rules and this new CBA and things you can't do and all
3 stars is hard.
Yeah, all that. But is he that eye candy? Well, guys say, man, I need to go to San Antonio and go try to handle my business with this young fella.
Well, look, and my thing is this, really quickly, like you said, how long is Victor going to wait? And look, I guarantee you the communication with him and the team and trying to figure out what they're doing. They're like, hey, Victor, we appreciate you, but I just want to make sure that you understand I need you to be patient because we want to see what we have in Sohan.
Yeah.
Could you imagine that conversation?
I know, and also my uncle Ufo has this phrase that he always says, you can do good and do well at the same time. The organization can do well by the team, but you want Victor to do good as well, you know.
We know.
It's sort of a balance that they're trying to achieve. But speaking of Jeremy Sohan, they are making a little adjustment to their starting lineup, to your point tonight. According to our Andrew Lopez, their starters tonight are Devin Vassell, Keldon Johnson, Cedi Osman, Victor, and Zach Collins. Sohan is active, but he's coming off the bench in this one.
Oh, so the experiment is over.